Hello and welcome to Film Posers. For request, ranting, raving, and reviewing cinema. Specifically, welcome to the Film Posers YouTube channel. If this is your first time seeing us, hello. We are the Film Posers. We are composed of 4 Puerto Rican critics talking about film and television from our cultural perspective. I usually don't go on this whole spiel, but I just want to say welcome. If you're not familiar with us, we are a podcast. So you can find all our information in the description. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you like what you see in this video. But specifically today, we are going to be reviewing Crimes of the Future. Of course, this is a David Cronenberg film. We are not familiar with his work. This was our first time diving into a Cronenberg film, so we didn't know what to expect. But just so you get an idea, if you haven't heard about Crimes of the Future, as the human species adapts to a synthetic environment, the body undergoes new transformations and mutations. With his partner Caprice, celebrity performance artist Saul Tenser publicly showcases the metamorphosis of his organs in avant-garde performances. Timlin, an investigator from the National Organ Registry, obsessively tracks their movements, which is when a mysterious group is revealed. Their mission to use Saul's notoriety to shed light on the next phase of human evolution. So this film might be a mixed bag for many. It definitely, at least for me, feels a lot like Men, to the point where I enjoyed the film, but I'm very stuck in the middle. It's not by any means a bad film, but it's not a spectacular film. I was hoping for more, and I'm definitely like in the middle where I admire what it set out to do, but it definitely leaves you wanting more.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat again. I'm familiar with Cronenberg's work. I just never seen any of his films. So we are very aware of, his use of body horror.
Yeah, he's basically parent to the movement in terms of body horror in cinema.
Yeah. So we went into this being like, yes, we're ready to be traumatized. Bring it on, Cronenberg. Let's go.
Like mentally preparing ourselves.
And then it's very tame. Like watching it, I was like, I've seen worse stuff on Grey's Anatomy. It's really, in terms of body horror, I'm sure there's people who are going to be bothered by it, but it's really tame. And other people at the screening who are big fans of Cronenberg were commenting on the same thing, that it's a very tame Cronenberg film. He held back. And you can tell, that was to me, the movie never got going. I kept waiting for that spectacular moment for me to be like, wow, so this is what Cronenberg does. And it's very underwhelming. Yes, there's good commentary. Personally, the commentary is the only thing that stood out for me. And even then it's like, okay, yeah, other films are commenting on this too. The commentary on it is nothing new, nothing revolutionary. So I just ended up being very underwhelmed with this film.
Yeah. I personally, the more I think about it, the more I like it, as opposed to you, the more that you think about it, the more you don't.
Yeah.
But I love this kind of introspective look into humanity that often comes from these types of movies, specifically the sci-fi genre. It is what it was designed for. So there were a lot of moments that, to me, because I don't love Blade Runner as much as you do. So for me, this was kind of on the level of Blade Runner in terms of analyzing humanity and synthetics and the evolution. So honestly, it's right there. Cronenberg does this really good mixture of the natural and the realistic with the synthetic throughout the entire film. It is an interesting look into how humans are desensitized throughout history and the way we have been evolving in terms of shutting off our emotions and stepping away from that. So I also enjoyed that. Performances were good. Lea Seydoux was really good. She had really good chemistry with Viggo Mortensen, which was the ultimate drive of the film, so that was very important. Kristen Stewart as well, though sometimes I felt like I could tell that she was acting. I don't know if it had to do a lot with the character design, with how she was directed, but there was something that didn't click for me with her in this film.
Yeah, I think, and she's also not in it as much. In the promo, she's being shown as if she's one of the main characters. She's really not in it as much as Viggo, Lea, and Scott Speedsman. They end up being the main characters of the story.
Yeah, I was expecting her to have a pivotal turn, or to be the downfall of the main character and everything they were doing, but no. Also, that just speaks to the narrative structure in general. A lot of people were saying that it felt like it was missing 30 more minutes at the end, and I can definitely agree.
Yeah.
Narrative structure wise, it didn't feel like we were following a typical story, so definitely be prepared for that. I don't know if that's usual for his type of work, but again, it brought me a little bit to Men, where you don't really feel an act structure specifically. You just feel a shift in tone. That's a lot of what happened here, especially also dialogue wise. Sometimes the dialogue felt specific to the time, like they were trying to world build with the way that they spoke, but other times it felt a little bit colloquial, so that kind of threw me off at times.
Yeah. Also, what you comment about it being about how we're desensitized to violence, maybe us not reacting whatsoever to the body horror in the film is a comment in itself, because he has zero reaction.
Yeah, because watching it, it came to a point where I felt like it was on purpose, because it's also kind of tender the way he explores the body horror in this film. And most of the only moments where it definitely feels super violent and uncomfortable are the moments that are supposed to be what the F.
Yeah.
But for most of the film, I feel like it was on purpose. It's not supposed to be outright gory or full like hard on the body horror, because it is a commentary on how these people don't feel pain. Like they comment, most of these people can't, their pain receptors are almost gone. A lot of them consume plastic, so it speaks a lot to how humans are evolving in this world. And maybe for some people that are fans of Cronenberg, they're gonna be like, oh, where is like I want it to be traumatized a la Titan for me. And
I was ready for the trauma too.
And we don't get that, but I think it's on purpose, or maybe I'm just giving Cronenberg too much credit, but like I can see the logic in it.
Yeah, I definitely, I wanted more of the world. To me, like, yes, the world building is there, but I wanted to know more. But also I understand that they were at this point where they also didn't want it to be an information dump, which I appreciate. But there are some things that I wish could have been elaborated more. But overall, the world was really interesting. I would have liked to see more of it. And also, like, I'm a sucker for good practical effects, so I appreciate that. There was a lot of use of practical effects, which I know Cronenberg is known for. So in that sense, you won't be disappointed, because it was just like, breath of fresh air.
So in conclusion, it is definitely, I recommend it.
Yeah, I do think that it's a film. It's going to be very divisive. I feel like that's been the theme recently, where a lot of very well-loved directors are releasing very divisive films. So I'm just interested to see how big fans of Cronenberg are going to react to this film.
I think I'm on the side, like I gave it a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, so I'm definitely gonna stay between, I think I would give it a 6 out of 10. But essentially, I like films that make me think, and even though it's something obviously that we've seen before, I like that like a person like Cronenberg is putting it on such a high platform, and he's speaking on it, because essentially Soylent Green is plastic is the theme of this film. So I like how we're talking, like it's bringing forward the fact that we are poisoning our future generations. We're finding plastic in our bodies, and like metaphorically, the film speaks on how like cancerous tumors and how our bodies are changing and how our bodies are forming growths, and how we are finding all these unnatural components within our bodies and within our bloodstreams, and how everything is changing and not for the better. So it definitely speaks on that. So I really like that commentary. That's why I'm so drawn to the film, even though sometimes, I was commenting on this earlier, you watch some, like if you go into this, you might notice that some scenes feel incomplete, like people are talking, but they're not really saying anything. So that might turn some people away. But overall, like the overall message got me. So I think that's why I'm leaning towards it. I feel like it would have been very great instead of a movie, like if David Cronenberg, just very old school sci-fi, just wrote a short story. and just publish
Yeah.
it somewhere. I was like, haha.
Like
here.
as a short film, it would have been great.
Yeah, speaking of, it's not a remake though. This is just him doing something different, and I liked it. It reminds me of old school sci-fi, like Left Hand of Darkness, Asimov with Nightfall. It's just, it just like we took science fiction with a shout out a Maritza Cardona, Bella Yupi, shout out. So it really brought me back to taking sci-fi literature in undergrad. So I think that's why I'm geeking out. But so if you're into sci-fi literature, if you're into those sort of things, you will like this movie. Even if you don't like the movie as a whole, you will admire those elements. If you're a fan of Cronenberg.
Yeah, that's precisely what has stuck with me the most is not the movie as a whole. It's just those little elements.
There's a little bit here for everyone. If you like, specifically if you're a fan of David Cronenberg, if you're a fan of sci-fi, if you're a fan of social commentary, especially our current climate crisis and just evolution in general. Yeah, I recommend it. Yeah. So again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to follow Film Posers at Film Posers practically everywhere, especially on Twitter and Instagram. We also have a Facebook, YouTube channel. Obviously, please like and subscribe. And you can listen to our podcast available wherever you listen to podcasts. And you can follow us on Twitter. You'll find our information below, and this is getting a little bit long. I'm not ranting. I'm rambling at this point. So yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.